Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mage casting one of our first semifinal games. Or actually, I'm lying. This is the third semifinal game. However, it should be a great game, and I look forward to bringing it to you. So, without further ado, in the bottom left we have Constrive. He's also known as Please Leave Duck, and I'll be referring to him as Duck throughout the remainder of the games, probably. In the top left, we have SQK GreatWall. I'll just be referring to him as GreatWall. He's playing Night Elf, although he certainly knows how to play every race. In the top right, we have Sniq, a well-known undead player. He and Duck actually have played some 2v2 together before, so it'll be interesting to see if they can counter each other well. And in the bottom right, we have our most controversial player, Ebo. Ebo is playing Orc and well-known for a heavy chat style and relying on macro as opposed to micro. Looks like everybody's pretty much up to a pretty standard start here. Suspect we'll see a DK from both Duck and Sniq. GreatWall, I'm guessing we'll probably see a Dark Ranger opening, although I'm not positive. And Ebo, I don't know who we're going to see from Ebo. We can see pretty much everything. I think we'll probably see a Dark Ranger opening from his as well, but you never really know. It does look like we are going to get an Ancient of War creep out of GreatWall, so that'll be good to see. Excuse me. And then Duck actually is pretty famous for doing a 2-fiend creep of the middle left and middle right red camp. So I am guess that he is going to pull that off, although it's pretty well known by this point, but he's not playing against his typical people that he plays against. So I think he'll probably successfully pull that off. Maybe we'll even get an Inferno Stone or something like that. I'm sure we will see a quick expansion at GreatWall, possibly 2 quick expansions. And Ebo is always the wild card. I really don't know what he's going to do. It looks like he might be going Headhunter's Dark Ranger, but that's just my best guess off the top of my head. I expect we'll see a lot of towers later on. If my voice gives out at any point, I do apologize. I've been casting for about 5 hours now, so it's somewhat of a strain. However, happy to be here doing it. I'm certainly hoping that you guys will all enjoy the game. It does look like we are getting Dark Ranger from both Duck and Sniq, so that's pretty much according to plan. And we have a Death Knight and a Dark Ranger for GreatWall. The only question is, what will Ebo be picking up? I'm guessing he's going to grab that Dark Ranger as well. There we go. Yep. Okay, so everything is going off according to plan so far. And then it'll be interesting to see which creep camps they pick up first. Ideally, I think you would like to go ahead and take the middle expos first. However, that really is somewhat of a personal preference and judgment call for each of the players themselves. I am thinking that, well, obviously, GreatWall's going to go ahead and grab his natural expo first, and it looks like the same will be said for Ebo, doing a nice job of making sure that they keep their units apart so you don't get the splash damage from their attacks. And looks like Duck will be going for his typical red camp opening. I think that GreatWall probably going to be the first one done here, and Sniq actually going to go for his mana first, it looks like. So, interesting choice on his part. You don't often see that. Let's go ahead and watch Duck creep this, though, because that's probably going to be the most exciting portion of this. So, as you can see, he goes in with 4 skeletons and 2 fiends, and then he's basically going to try and kite him out a little bit, just get down the Broodmother, and then go heal at the Fountain of Health, and then after that, he'll go ahead and take the next one. You can see GreatWall scouting it out, though, now. That's going to be very interesting to see how that works, and he grabbed a Scroll of Resurrection, so that's going to be pretty much useless, but maybe, I don't know, if he manages to lose all his units to the creeps or something like that, that'll help out then. But certainly not what he'd like to start with, and now GreatWall is going to be well aware of what his plan is and could very well interfere with the upcoming thing. It does look like Sniq went ahead and grabbed a level 2 off of that. Duck now has 3 fiends, and guessing GreatWall is going to try and harass him here a little bit. We'll see how it works out. Shouldn't take too much to go ahead and take this down, but we'll see, and we'll see how much of an interference role GreatWall can play in here. Does manage to save that fiend. I'm thinking GreatWall's probably going to be most interested in trying to take down the Broodmother. And Duck does lose that 1 fiend, so GreatWall off to a good start here. He also has an expansion up, and Duck now going to try and suicide GreatWall, he says. Duck and GreatWall have played in the past before, and actually it's ended in both of them killing each other off both times that they've met before. So I can't say I'm overly shocked. However, it should give both Sniq and Ebo a pretty early advantage here. We'll see if they can take advantage of it. Ebo has his first expansion going up, as does Sniq. Sniq a little bit ahead of it looks like, but Sniq also has just hit level 3, and Ebo going for his second expansion. So that's actually could be what turns a little bit to Ebo's favor, although he's going to lose that grunt. I'm not sure if that was intentional or not. Looking back over here, it does look like Duck is having fun playing around with GreatWall's units here. Unfortunately, he does not have a dust, so there's not much that he can do. And GreatWall saying he'll go ahead and back up, and they can go ahead and be peace and friends and all that fun stuff again. GreatWall is the first one to go ahead and grab an expansion. Sorry, trying to make sure that my voice can be heard, since I already went ahead and screwed that up a couple times. And Persuade, who I casted earlier and had to leave the game because it was so incredibly boring, said that he's made over 5,000 sentry wards, so that's pretty impressive if that's true. Duck does grab an ice shard, so a little bit more helpful, but certainly not the Inferno Stone that he's hoping to get. And it does look like GreatWall is going to go ahead and take his second expansion here as well, so he's going to put Sniq in quite the bind because Sniq is not going to be able to grab a natural expansion. It'll be interesting to see who he takes it out on. However, that should ensure we get a little bit of early game chaos going on. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and turn the... Hopefully it's not too loud. So at some point, if you guys think that the background level of the noise is too high, then please let me know. However, it's kind of awkward. I'm just sitting there with nothing going on in the background, despite the fact that units are being attacked, etc., etc. Duck going ahead and using his Ice Revenant to go ahead and creep last of these camps. Smart idea on his part. It's probably not likely to be a game changer in a fight. However, it is very beneficial to be able to actually creep, and he'll be able to go ahead and grab the other creeps there too. Sniq has completed his first expansion. Duck is the only one without an expansion at this point. He does have a proxy expo, essentially, which he'll be hoping to use to grab one. GreatWall going to go ahead and try and grab a second expansion there, I think. And Sniq going ahead and... I don't think he's going to tell you that he wants it. I think he just wants it to Ebo. Sorry about that. So I guess we find out who Sniq is going to take that out on. And Ebo probably not the happiest camper right now. He certainly is not on par with the micro that Sniq can put up. And Sniq saying, "You can. Yes, you can." So let's see if GreatWall can go ahead and take this out here. This is actually a relatively difficult creep camp to take out, not because of the Drake so much, but because of this Ancient Hydra. GreatWall has done a nice job of ensuring that the Dark Minion was what got sucked up there, but now he's going to have to let his archers tank it a little bit. However, he should manage to bring that down momentarily, and Constrive, realizing he's in a great position to do a bunch of damage here. However, I think he's going to be nice and not do it. He just wants that Ancient Hydra, and ooh, let's see who can get it here. And it does look like it went to Duck, and Duck went ahead and got the Mask of Death and killed that panda, and this is going to provide a very interesting game very early on, it looks like. And Sniq comes in to clean up, so already we're seeing a bunch of excitement in this game, and with the cast that we have, that should be a very interesting battle to see how it turns out. And Duck saying hi to Sniq. So Duck going to go ahead and put a little bit of pressure on the expansion over here that GreatWall has, it looks like. Mostly because he has that Ice Revenant he wants to use up, and he is already at Black Citadel, so he is very easily the furthest teched along so far. At least let me just double check, make sure. Maybe not very easily, but he is the furthest teched so far. And he is going to gain a good amount of experience off of some of those wisps there. However, he is not going to be able to completely take care of them. Guessing that the Tree of Life will go down at some point, but GreatWall not in good shape in terms of units. He is going to go ahead and produce some bears now. He'll be able to grab his third hero. However, he is low on wood. Down here we do have Sniq successfully creeping these, it looks like. He has not yet picked up his... there we go. He does have his second hero. Let's see. He is not very close to Black Citadel, and Ebo is not very close to Fortress. So both GreatWall and Duck have gone for the less units, more tech approach, and Sniq and Ebo have gone for the let's gain as much experience as possible early on approach. and then we can go ahead and tech later on. You know, you can tech when you're dead and all that. Maybe that's sleep. But it does look like the first expansion is going to go down for Duck, and Duck, pretty bold, he is deciding to go ahead and expo the natural expansion for GreatWall. I don't think he's going to manage to pull that off, however, it's certainly a gutsy call. And I'm wondering if he wants it to go up so he could TP back. GreatWall, good heads up, bringing that Ancient of War in to go help him out here. And Druids of the Claw are at, however, they only at Adept rank, so they need that Master rank to be more helpful, but you can certainly never argue with a little rejuvenation here and there. It does look like that Dark Ranger is going to get away, and it'll be interesting to see how hard he tries to push on this Brewmaster, or if he wants to try and save the Ancient of War. Looks like that the Ancient of War did take that main down. Just looking over here, it does look like Sniq grabbed a Mask of Death as well, and he has a +9 claws that he can give to his Lich later on. So Duck has successfully gotten his first expansion up. It's just the natural expansion for GreatWall. Somewhat odd, but you know, it happens. So Duck is certainly playing an interesting game at this point. Ebo may be able to grab his second expansion down here. He is certainly towering up the first to prevent Sniq from taking it down again. He has gotten his Shadow Hunter for the second hero. And I'm not quite sure that GreatWall is going to find this as amusing as I do, Duck, but looks like one of the first Druids of the Claw. Nope, nice job getting a staff out there. Should be able to go ahead and use Rejuvenate, get it out of the way. So Duck does a good job of focusing it down, but an even better job by GreatWall to get it out of the way. This may be the turning point where GreatWall is actually able to push Duck back, though. He does have an expansion up already, although Duck has scouted it, so he is certainly not going to be goldless, although I'm sure he'd rather have some more, but he is going to be very low on wood since he doesn't have that many. I'm guessing he'll build some extra expansion, or extra wisps at his expansion to keep it up. Does look like Sniq is going to go ahead and clean up here. He has hit level 3 on his Lich and level 5 on his Death Knight. So early hero advantage is definitely going to Sniq. Just quick around the board. Sniq's at 3,500. Ebo up to 2,500. We do have an empty expo here still. And Duck is at 600. GreatWall at 500. So GreatWall and Duck really battling early on to try and save as much as they can. Whoever wins this fight could be either great position or terrible position, depending on how you want to say it. However, they would have some free expansions at least. This Death Knight looking a little low here, but so does that Panda. Nice job staffing that out by GreatWall. However, he is going to have a very low Keeper of the Grove momentarily. That does not have any type of save on it, so down goes the Keeper of the Grove. And he should be able to take out that bear as well, so Duck doing a nice job microing this. Good job keeping everything slowed up here. And probably going to go ahead and sleep that Dark Ranger to prevent it from staffing anymore. Nope. Okay, so let's see how many bears he can get then. Gets one bear and oof, just gets the second bear saved. Nope, dies at the base. So Duck doing a fantastic job of managing to control GreatWall and kill off his units, kill off heroes, keep his hero levels low. He's at 311 now, while Duck is at 432, I believe. Yep, and ideally they'll be able to creep up a few more expos for Duck as well to gain an eco advantage. Sniq going ahead and getting into some action with Ebo. Sniq has maintained a 50 food Crypt Fiend army. He's not pulling off a third hero yet, to the best of my knowledge. Let's see. Nope. So no third hero, just going to go with that 2-hero set. And Ebo going to be able to defend pretty much just with his watchtowers at this point, though, it looks like. So, despite the fact that Ebo is theoretically in worse position since he doesn't have much of an army behind him, it's looking like he should be able to hold this off relatively easily. At least not lose the expo. Maybe not gain a whole lot either, though. Ebo very unhappy that Sniq is hitting him. He's not a big fan of being hit in general, but certainly not this early in the game with Map still on the creep. And Ebo's saying everybody's 50, but everybody pretty much is above 50. Or, actually no, they are pretty much all 50. So Duck has managed to stay 50, and so has Sniq. Ebo at 50 as well, so it's just GreatWall that's going up. And Duck saying, I kind of suicided. At least he's not saying he accidentally suicided, since that would be somewhat hard to bear. It does look like GreatWall can go ahead and try and apply some pressure back to Duck, though. His one expansion has just gotten up, barely anything taken out of it, but seeing what they can do here, and interesting to see that we don't have a whole lot of silence going on yet, but these dark minions are really coming in and helping out with the damage. For such an early game, you really need that extra little boost. While they might not be helpful later, they certainly are helpful now. And Duck does have a potion of vulnerability on his Death Knight and a potion of mana. Let's see if he can get this. Nope. Nice pass off. Going to have to TP out of there, so Expo is not going to go down. However, there are not any... Nope, there's one Acolyte and that's it. Does have his second expansion going up finally, but it'll take a little while to get out there. Duck pretty close to 50 food. Can only build one more Acolyte, although he already has some on the way. And looks like Duck is just going to maintain a little bit of creep now and go ahead to creep his main. Interesting early game. We do have Sniq continuing to put some pressure on and pulls out a Pit Lord for the third hero. So good to see some innovation here, and ironically enough, Ebo loves the Pit Lord, so a fine choice on his part, and something that goes ahead and makes this game a little bit more interesting, not some completely standard stuff. Interesting, though, that Duck actually picked the Dreadlord third, because typically Duck loves to get his, brutal snipe on that Keep of the Grove. Had no chance to live there. But Duck usually picks a Dark Ranger for his third hero, so it's interesting to see him change over. Let's see if he can keep this Frostworm alive. He does have silence on his Death Knight. It's going to be pretty challenging to keep it alive, but there it goes. And focus down on the Hippogriffs a little bit. He did a nice job using the Lich to go ahead and prevent it from dying earlier, and it does look like he is going to kill off another Hippogriff here. So Tower's doing a little bit of damage, but not nearly as much as he'd like, and GreatWall successfully killing off all the Acolytes so that Duck is not gaining a huge gold advantage on him right now, although he does have a 800 gold lead at the moment. But he does take that Frostworm down, the first big kill for GreatWall, and now that Lich is looking pretty low as well. It'll be interesting to see how he manages to get out of this. GreatWall is at 67 versus Duck's 35. Not sure if Duck wants to go ahead and try and take him down at 50 or not, but it is not the best time to do it. So Duck having to play a little bit of defense and get out. Duck at this moment just trying to snipe off a few units here and there. Sending his Acolytes right past that entire army, though. Kind of interesting. Might be able to mine in back of him. Only one more Death Coil on the Death Knight, though. So entirely possible that he could lose something here. Nope. 98 on the... Alright. Lich could get low quickly, and I gotta believe he'll have another Frostworm coming in momentarily. Let's see if we see any more units coming up here. Does have a Fiend at his hall there. And here we go. This could be the end of that Dreadlord. Down it goes. So perfectly timed silence there to take down the Dreadlord, and Duck being left no choice but to go ahead and back off now. So our other players here, Sniq is at 541 and should manage to gain level 2 for his Pit Lord with this creep. In addition, there are some pretty good items in the shop here. We've got a Crown of Kings and an Inferno Stone. And Sniq also has taken over the other expansion that GreatWall had, apparently. He is looking pretty low on wood, though, but he is breaking up to 80. And Ebo is at 35 wood, so he could be in a lot of trouble wood-wise here now. Duck does have his second expansion up. It's surprising that GreatWall has not managed to take it down. He is going very heavily with the Hippogriff army, though, so apparently definitely trying to counter the Frostworms he's expecting out of Duck. Duck doing a nice job of pulling off the Acolytes from his main base and sending him to the expansion. Interestingly enough, he still does not have an expansion at his natural. And he's letting a lot of creeps free for Ebo to pick up here, although Ebo probably thinking that he's way behind tier levels, even though he's not. GreatWall is apparently going to go ahead and try and push down onto Duck some more. Really his only choice at this point. I mean, he desperately needs to grab an expansion. He is below 50 again, so that's a little bit of comfort to him, I'm sure, but not a whole lot. Abomination looking pretty low, but should be able to be saved by the Death Knight before it goes down. Ebo using some of his hard manip. He's saying that he is at 80 food, but he is certainly not at 80 food at the moment. He's at 46. Doesn't even have the capability to go to 100 right now. Interesting fight for Duck using the Abomination. Needs Disease Clouds probably, and looks like it may have just gotten Disease Cloud. I don't know. But GreatWall able to staff most of the stuff out in time to keep it safe. And down goes that Abomination. Chooses not to go ahead and save it. Save the coil for another unit another time. And let's see. Ooh, that Lich was just about to go ahead and nuke the Dark Ranger, but Dark Ranger does get out just in time. And Sniq continuing to just put on the pressure with a Fiend and Statue army here. I mean, it's certainly not the best free-for-all army I've seen, but it's pretty effective against what Ebo is doing right now. Ebo does have the advantage of he is staying at 50 food, though. He does not feel the need to break up in order to take him on. And he has picked up a Shadow Hunter and Torn Chieftain as his typical second, third heroes, so no great surprise there. Tower's really doing a lot of damage to Sniq, though. I mean, talk about something really tearing up your army when you don't want it to. GreatWall in here is getting pressured by Duck again. I mean, if he doesn't survive this, that's going to be pretty much a good game. However, he does have those 4 Hippogriffs, so hopefully he can take care of it. Duck could use a Fiend to web it, probably. Nice job getting back into the mana fountain here. Always a... that Death Knight's looking really low. Let's see if he can go ahead and get it. If he's going to, pops that invulnerability potion. Frostworm first, forced to run back a little bit. Go ahead and nuke the rest of the Hippos, hopefully, and take them down. Does look like both the Pit Lord and a Torn Chieftain have fallen on the other side of the map, so maybe Ebo and Sniq engaging a little bit more than normal. Looking back in Ebo's base, I don't see a whole lot being built except for the Torn Chieftain being revived, so he is still all set on the hero, macro side of things. Duck goes ahead and takes down that Keeper of the Grove again. Poor Keeper of the Grove can't stay alive for more than 30 seconds, it seems like. And Sniq saying he has 15,000 gold. Unfortunately, not that far off. However, I do appreciate that Sniq is not going to fall for Ebo's manipulations the way some people have before. Going to make an anonymous game out of it. And Ebo actually not lying about his gold very much. Duck doing a nice job of maintaining how much gold he has, despite the fact that he's been fighting all game. He does have 2 expansions running now, and Pink not nearly as bad as you would think he would be for the position he's in, however. He is going to have to find an expansion at some point. Does get web off here finally, so we're going to be able to pick off a Hippogriff one by one for Duck. That's pretty much exactly what he's going to want to do, is just continue to kite them, I'm guessing. And Ebo saying that Sniq is suiciding him, thinking that's probably not the case. But you can see these towers are still doing an incredible amount of damage to Sniq's army here. And probably the MVP for... probably the MVP for Ebo at this point. So Duck finally getting back to creeping his natural expansion here. Probably going to go ahead and throw up a 3rd expansion. It's always interesting to see a player go ahead and take somebody else's natural expansion before they take their own, but Duck has never been completely conventional, so I guess that's not too shocking. And it does look like Sniq has gone for a full 80 with the Frostworm, so this could be a much more dangerous army now, assuming that he has Frost Breath on the Frostworm, then he could take down those towers much easier. Ebo has managed to scout out that Shade, unfortunately, and has broken up to 80, so we could have our first 80-80 fight. GreatWall going up to 80 as well. Duck continuing to fight at 50, so he is gaining quite the golden food advantage now by staying at 50. However, he has to make sure that he can match GreatWall's micro despite being 12 food under. Or probably more than that, because GreatWall doesn't have any expansion, so the true food value is probably even more than that. GreatWall doing a nice job of making sure that Duck's heroes are silenced at pretty much all times. And I don't know, Duck looking like, yep, there we go. Duck's going to go up to 80, so manages to nuke down that Keeper of the Grove again. That's got to be the 4th or 5th time it's died. We do have Sniq going ahead and attacking and doing a better job of staying into Ebo's army. Looks like we could have collision course there soon. Going to go back over here to Duck. Duck is going to have to back up a little bit. That Frostworm looking very low, so GreatWall finally gaining some traction. Going to be able to do some damage here. Is that Death Knight going to have to TP away here? That's looking very low. Death Knight does TP away here, so switching back over here, we do have Sniq at 79 still, and Sniq beating Ebo in gold, so that's not something you see every day. Ebo is extremely successful at managing his gold, usually. Let's see if he can put up a good fight here. He has gotten Bloodlust on pretty much all of his units, and continues to ask Sniq why he's suiciding him. So, I'm not entirely sure that what he thinks is going on, but Sniq clearly is not just suiciding him. I mean, he's pretty much maintaining a nice fight, and interestingly enough, that Rain of Fire killed off the healing ward, so not sure if that was intentional, somehow doubt it, but a nice move on his part. And the Fiend's really paying off in dividends, taking down these Wyverns. The Wyverns otherwise would be doing a lot of damage to the other heroes. However, that's a really nice play by Sniq going ahead and kiting it back. Just gets off that potion of vulnerability on the Tauren Chieftain barely in time. Heals it up a little bit, but it's going to be going down momentarily, I'm guessing, unless he TP's out of there. Evo back to 50, though, so I presume he's going to go ahead and build up on that, but could be interesting. Alright. Does look like Sniq may be in a good position here to actually do some damage finally. Has not lost a unit in this push yet, and he has a very good counter to the towers with the Frostworms and the Destroyer combination. In addition, the Crypt Fiend's Web are doing a fantastic job of making sure that the fights are on even footing. Does look like Duck over here has almost gotten up to a full 80 army. He is on his 3rd expansion now, and looks like all is pretty much going well for him. We are very low on gold with GreatWall. Unfortunately, GreatWall looked like he was doing well there, and then he must have just gotten pushed back when Duck came back. Sniq enjoying great success with the towers now that he's able to take a few of them out of the game at a moment. Good stomp there. Let's see if he can turn anything about it. Really needs to be able to force a TP out of there, but down goes that Tauren Chieftain, and the Pit Lord is going to survive, it looks like. Big fight coming up here between Duck and GreatWall. This could be a deciding factor if Duck gets a good fight for it. Duck is going up to 83 even, so not sure if that's just counting on losses or if he's trying to get up to 100 food. But he is having to kite that Death Knight around. He is going to have to TP out of there, I think. Nope. Maybe? I don't know. Duck doing a very nice job of microing this. Looks like we are probably going to have this Keep of the Grove go down momentarily again. And down it goes again, so that's really need a Keep of the Grove kill counter up here. Ooh, almost kills off that Frostworm, but doesn't manage to quite get it. So close. Nice job by Duck to do that. And here we go. We have the Mojo Dark Ale just escaping here, and the Tree of Eternity pushing up. This is going to be a good game for GreatWall, I'm thinking. And does look like GreatWall is somewhat frustrated and going to give up. Yep, there we go. Good game from GreatWall. So we are down to 3 people now, and Duck being smart, getting only the experience on the Dreadlord. Almost going to be level 5 after all is said and done. May hit level 5 when he hits the Wisps. So we now have Sniq and Duck in the prime positions here. Both are soloing out people well. And we do know that Evo is not likely to give up easily, though. He is certainly being tenacious, putting up a ton of towers now. He is at 11,000 gold, but only 100 wood. So really, that's going to be his main issue. But Sniq is going ahead and just bombarding these. And, oof, that's a really close... Yep, that down goes that Frostworm. So that's really not what you want to see when you're trying to take down towers, is your source of freezing the towers going down. So, chaotic few moments there, but we are off to a fantastic early game so far. I've got to say, this has been extremely exciting, and really impressed by most of our players. Dreadlord is almost level 5. Got to presume a few more Wisps, although it'll be really amusing if he manages to prevent his Dreadlord from getting level 5 because he was too lazy to move that Lich back there. And Sniq not able to do any scouting there. So really just waiting on... Let's see. A few more... Yep, there we go. So that should give us level 5 on the Dreadlord. Yep, there we go. So Duck in great position here. He is at 80. He does not have as much gold as the other guys, but he is running 3 expansions to their 2 each. Well, Ebo has a 3rd up. Ebo managing to really acquire a massive amount of expansion stuff for somebody that's been attacked all game. He's doing a nice job of keeping his macro up. Really, the only problem is he needs more wood, and Sniq going ahead and pushing onto Duck. We'll see how Duck handles this. Duck does have some hero advantage right now, and I like the Dreadlord better in the mirror matchup. Duck also playing the much more traditional army with the gargoyles, so we'll see how they fare against each other, but Duck did say himself that Sniq was the better solo player. Down goes that Pit Lord, I think. Nope, just barely saves it, so nice job by Sniq getting it out of the way. He does have a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability on it that he can pop at any time if he needs to, so I'm guessing we'll be seeing that momentarily, and yep, there it goes, and Sniq is going to go ahead and TP out of here. Let's see if we can see anything go down for him. He did lose a statue, it looked like, but that's about it. Duck lost a ziggurat or two, and he is now food capped at 70, so he's going to need to rebuild that rather quickly. In order to do that, though, he's going to have to pull off some alkalites, most likely. Duck going to go ahead and try and push into the middle of Sniq's base here. Does not have Frost Breath on his Frost Worms, though, so that's going to be a problem for him. And here we go. Seems like a longer TP than normal. But Sniq is here to play. Going to lose almost all those acolytes to that single Dreadlord. Let's see, so we've got 655 against 654. I don't know, I like Duck's odds in the mirror here, but he does appear to be backing up, so apparently he's going to give it a little room. Sniq going up to 100, I think, to try and continue to hit him, but he is making fiends, so if Duck gets another 20 food of gargoyles, I like his odds quite a bit. Wood-wise, they are both okay positioned. They're not great. Ebo has gained a little bit more, but he is up to 17,000 already. They're pretty much just blatantly ignoring him due to the fact that both Duck and Sniq are great solo players, and Ebo just gets overlooked like that quite often. Looking around, I don't see his other heroes. So we've got a 5 Dark Ranger, 3 Shadow Hunter. I'm not sure where that Tauren Chieftain is. And Duck a little bit mad that Sniq is going to go ahead and team him despite them being teammates. Just to clarify, he is kidding about this and does not expect preferential treatment for being in the same team. Although Duck does like to troll quite a bit. It does look like Duck is going to go ahead and try to push this. He is maintaining 80 food and not trying to break 100. Probably a wise call, but could be a problem if Sniq decides to push him. And let's see here if he can manage. Nope, not going to even take that one tower out, so let's see how this goes. Ooh, that Lich is getting brutally beaten up early on. Still being focused down. Does look like Sniq may be the first one to lose the worm there. Although this is somewhat chaotic. Looks like Gargs are going down. We got Duck going down. Yeah, I don't know. This is tough to keep track of. Too close to colors. Does look like Duck is significantly losing. He is rebuilding as we speak, I believe. Sniq does have that one Frost Worm looking low, but it gets healed up momentarily. Dreadlord is still not particularly close to level 6, which is really what could be a game changer here, and Duck losing more Frost Worms, so 64 food for Duck and 68 food for Sniq. Sniq does force Duck to TP out of there, and I'm thinking that we have a lot of, so the reason Duck's food count is so high is he has 8, 9 crypts pumping gargoyles at the moment, so he is changing over to a more traditional undead army now, and we can see if he will be able to take Sniq on with that army, or if Sniq is just that much better of a micro player. Ebo saying he's ready to hit with 100. He, I suppose, is going up at least. Still looking pretty low on wood, and Duck relying on the fact that Ebo probably will attack Sniq over him, although who knows. Ooh, nice snipe on that Lich. So Sniq is losing a little bit of advantage here. We'll see if here comes the gargoyles. This could be the game changer right now. Lots of low frost worms, and if Duck plays this right, he may be able to take out both of those frost worms or force a TP out of Sniq. Does look like he is going to go ahead and focus on just getting that destroyer down first. But Duck going at least 80 food, possibly more. No, it looks like he'll stay at 80 food of gargoyle. So changing over to the true free-for-all army while Sniq is stuck with fiends and destroyers and worms. This is probably going to go in Duck's favor. We'll see how he pulls it off. And Ebo continuing to throw in some amusing comments here and there. So here we go. This should be the big fight of the battle here. Sniq, stop running. I want to see a battle. And here we go. So wow, that one Frostworm went down almost instantaneously. Web almost hurting Duck more than it helps him. He is gonna lose. Ooh, nice save on that Lich. I thought he was gonna lose it there. Frostworm looking very low there. Is gonna get himself killed off momentarily. There we go. So Ebo actually is up to 100 food army. God knows where it is. Here we go. Looks like he may be going for Duck, or he's just buying up some items. Nothing terribly interesting in there unless you have a Blade Master. And Duck has managed to defeat Sniq just in time to not do anything against the unsummoned expansion. And Ebo going to take the aggressive steps. He's going to be the one to hit Duck. So this will be an interesting fight. Ebo could do a ton of damage to Duck right now, actually. So Ebo is at 18,000, Sniq at 10,000, and Duck at 4,000. Duck does have the best heroes at the moment, but I do have to say I think I like Ebo's chances here. I don't often say that, and when I do, I usually don't say it because I don't like Ebo because he manips so much, but he's playing pretty well so far. He's kept his mouth closed for the most part, and he's actually in a very strong position. Let's see how he uses these bats. If Duck can get off a nice stone form here, then he may be able to save this. But it does look like he is not being able to stone form here. I don't see a single stone form anywhere, in fact. And not the greatest usage of bats ever, but it's better than nothing. Although, actually, I don't know how Ebo managed to do that, but it looks like he is not in the best position right now. Despite the fact that he had enough bats to completely decimate all of Duck's army, he is still not in the greatest position. And here we go, Inferno comes in. And the Infernal is a nice stun here, and we should see that Torrent Chieftain going down the moment a nuke comes out. And is he going to... Nope, pops the invulnerability. Just did not quite get off enough. And a Hex goes off on that Death Knight. This could be the end of the Death Knight. Nice job by Ebo. Gets that Death Knight down. So Duck is down to 2 heroes, even if they are level 6. But he should be able to push this back, actually. So, yep. Ebo is going to be forced to TP out, but Duck has managed to lose his Death Knight, and he has Mass Fiends now. So that is not the army he would like to play with, I'm guessing. So, interesting fight there. Ebo should have done much better than he did. I mean, that, as you can see, Ebo himself says he's not a very good micro player. He's really not, but the thing you notice is he's now down below 50 again. He's still got 17,000, and he's still mining off 2 mines. So, despite the fact that Ebo lost all that, he did manage to gain a few hero levels. He took down that Death Knight. And he pretty much made the play for, well, look how strong Duck is, and led him to that. So Sniq is going to go ahead and continue to hit Duck. Not sure that's his best interest right now. I think they're both severely underestimating Ebo, but especially Sniq. And it could come to bite him in the ass later. Sniq probably overconfident because of the fact that he was so easily able to take care of Ebo earlier. However, there's a big difference between being able to push out an Expo and kill a few towers and actually take somebody completely out of the game when they have almost double or triple the gold that you have. So Sniq's saying that he's pretty much out of gold. He's not exactly out of gold, but he's not that far off the mark either, for being honest. Duck continues to mine 2 mines at 74. He is capped at 80 food, so he cannot go 100 even if he wanted to. And Ebo, continuing to have the best macro of the game, is reviving that Torrent Chieftain and still below 50 while reviving. So he is going to be able to build several armies of bats and whatever he may need to fight the undead opponents.
A player's forces are under attack.
So Ebo apparently accidentally put a healing ward to surround the Death Knight, and Duck only just now informed him of this. And Ebo finds it incredibly amusing that he managed to pull off a surround on the Death Knight without meaning to. So hopefully the action will continue. It's been a very exciting game so far, and I'd hate to see it be slowed down any, but it's entirely possible that we may hit our three-way stalemate. On the other hand, Sniq does not seem like the player to allow that to happen, and it looks like he may actually be going ahead and pushing onto Ebo now.
A player's forces are under attack.
Nope, just going to go ahead and run to the shop, it looks like. I could never really tell what they're doing. Only one TP, though, which is kind of interesting. Usually you like to see a few more scrolls of teleportation. We do have a scroll of teleportation on 2 heroes for Duck, and I'm guessing that Ebo has a scroll of teleportation on every hero, which does appear he does. So Ebo has just kicked his mine at the main and is going to go ahead and be attacked by Sniq. And Ebo trying anything to stay in the good graces of Sniq and not have himself get killed off. Actually, a pretty intelligent play, I'm not going to lie. Ebo has enough gold, and he's really not giving that much to Sniq, but it may be a good sign of good things to come. On the other hand, Sniq looks like he'd just rather go ahead and kill him. So, decent amount of towers within Ebo's base, but nothing completely insurmountable. The main thing is that he is going to be able to build a ton of wyverns with his gold, and that may be a little harder for Sniq to deal with at this point. He does only have a single 2 fiends with him, and wyverns are able to carve through most of the undead army relatively easily. He is pretty close to getting level 5 on his Pit Lord, which would really be quite the helpful advantage if he is able to get it and then take down the rest of the towers with that. Duck going ahead and hitting the rest of the expansion that Ebo has. So Duck still with 2 mines at a total of 11,000 gold, looks like 12,000 gold. So he is certainly not out of this. Interested to see if he is still mining or getting wood, because I'm not sure he's realized, but he is extremely low on wood. I don't see any ghouls around. So that could end up being quite the problem for Duck momentarily. Actually, he only has 250 wood at the moment. And Ebo going to go ahead and push onto Sniq. Let's see how this works out for him. His heroes are at quite the disadvantage in the moment. Nice job hexing that worm, though. I'd like to see him focus it down, and really he has to be careful that he doesn't lose his Torn Chieftain too quickly. It's hard for most people to lose it. However, when you have somebody focusing it down with an undead nuke, it can go very quickly. Duck doing a nice job of coming in to scout this and figure out what's going on, and he may even be able to get a Hex Stomp off and kill that Death Knight. And what do you know, Ebo has just taken down Sniq's Death Knight. That may be the first time he has killed a solo pros hero before. So, nice job by Ebo, and Sniq and Duck are both realizing that Ebo is actually a force to be reckoned with right now. Duck really pissed that Ebo now has Charm, which, understandable, that's not something you want to deal with, and neither of the players has a Silence. I don't think that... and Duck just asking if that other expansion's been kicked. I'm pretty sure there's no Staff of Silence on here, and because he picked the Dreadlord third, he is going to have Inferno, which is a fantastic ultimate. However, the only real disable he has is Sleep, so he's not going to be able to prevent his Frostworm from getting charmed. And here we go. It does look like Ebo is going to go ahead and try and push towards Duck. Not entirely sure if I think this is the wisest move here. He may be just shopping at the market, actually. Nope. He is going to go ahead and push, and Duck is going to go ahead and pump out some Gargs. It doesn't look like he has any bats within his army, so Ebo with a little bit of a risky thing here. However, Duck doesn't actually have any destroyers either, so he's not going to be able to disenchant all that. And his eyes in the sky are now out of the place. So we have Sniq pretty much stuck at 6,500 gold, only going down from there. Duck does have 2,000, but he's got a 100 food army, and he's going up from here. And Ebo pretty much done mining now, unless he can reassert himself at that expansion. However, he is at 15,000, so he's in good shape here. Duck with a very interesting army, probably not the best thing ever. And we are going to get a sleep on the Shadow Hunter, but Ebo actually a very nice job going ahead and getting rid of it quickly, and the Gargoyle is not doing as much damage as they would like to. In comes that Infernal. Very, very nice job of dropping that right in the middle of the Torrent, giving enough time to stun and deal some damage there. But Ebo really in great shape here, has not lost a unit yet, and he's just charmed a Fiend, so he's at 103, Duck down to 81, gonna have to TP out. He has 900 gold and 12 wood. He is pretty much in terrible straits right now. Duck really needs some help from Sniq, I think, and I'm not entirely sure Sniq could take Ebo 1v1 at this point either. Ebo has been playing very well for himself.
A player's forces are under attack.
And it does look like we are going to get Ebo teamed down now. And there goes that Hex. Fortunately, Stomp is not close enough to take it down. But Duck really not in a great position for himself here. He is at least able to make sure the Tauren are not able to get much damage off here, but he's going to have to back up to his army momentarily. Ebo still only lost about 6 food, and Duck losing a lot of Fiends here. These are obviously not the best army here. In fact, Fiends may be the worst army against a Tauren Orc. Not much he can do at this point, but I bet he wish he had some of that gold back to produce some worms right now. Interesting that Duck is taking the fight where he is. I would expect Duck to continue trying kiting him into his base. Duck losing food rapidly right now. Not much he can do, as I said before, but that Tauren Chieftain really just tearing through the army and stomping all of the Fiends. Duck down to 74 food, Ebo at 90. Duck really needs Sniq to be starting to hit Ebo at this point if he wants to have any chance of surviving. Few loose units do get away from Ebo here, though. Sleep goes off on the Tauren Chieftain. Good choice of heroes to sleep there. And unfortunately, the web really hurting Duck quite a bit due to the fact that the Gargoyles obviously don't do as much damage to ground units. And when they get webbed, then they don't do much damage to the Wyverns. Nice job healing there. And Ebo really playing very well for somebody that's not a great micro player. Does not look like he has started mining yet again, so he is only going down in gold at this point, and Duck has one Alkalite, and he is getting some others there, so Duck is pretty much done mining. I presume Ebos can go ahead and kill this off now. And Sniq going to go ahead and attack the Expo where nothing is happening, so not very helpful. I'm not sure if excuse me. Duck is, or if Sniq is purposefully trying to let Duck lose so he can take Ebo 1v1, or if he's just not scouting very well. There we go. Good TP out. Oh, and here comes the TP. Let's see how much damage Ebo can do here. So Sniq forced to TP away. Sniq does still have a significant amount of gold right now. And he has a massive Gargoyle army hidden back there. So, assuming that they can weaken Ebo a little bit, then Sniq's still in good position right now. Duck obviously not in good position, and Ebo just waiting to hit level 6 on that Tauren Chieftain. That's the next big milestone for him. If he can grab level 7 on the Dark Ranger, all the better there too, but up until level 6 on the Tauren Chieftain, there's not a whole lot left to look forward to for Ebo. Does look like he has all of his armor upgrades and everything. Trying to look around, I see one Voodoo Lounge. Okay, so I only see one Voodoo Lounge there. There's one up here, but if he should manage to lose both of his Voodoo Lounges, that could be a game changer, because it'll mean he can't produce bats. But aside from that, I can't really see how he'd blow through that. Looking around, it does look like it looks like we may have a random person win, with Chobo winning the other game. Trying to figure out what's going on with the other games while I have a little bit of downtime here.
Forces are under attack.
Nice Inferno on Duck's part here. Good job nuking down these Wyverns, but he's not going to be able to do enough because of Spirit Link, and unfortunately Duck going to have to TP out of here as well. He really couldn't afford to blow through that gold. I mean, that was pretty much no damage done, and Duck realizing he's fucked. I never want to count Duck out, but I think that he really is out of luck here. Unfortunate, too, since he had such a fantastic early game. So Duck actually resorting to gaining some gold by attacking the creeps here. Nice move. I mean, he doesn't need the experience, obviously, but he does need gold to buy a TP if he wants to survive. Ebo moving towards Sniq now. We could see a big fight between them, and if he can take down most of Sniq's heroes here, or do some significant damage, then he'll be in good shape. Sniq obviously still hiding quite a bit of gold and wood, and I'm not entirely sure where he's earning so much gold from still. He must have a mine somewhere. And Pit Lord looking very low there. Nice stomp by Ebo, and that Pit Lord is going to go down, I think. Yep, and the Pit Lord has just been killed off by Ebo, so Ebo has really actually been microing fairly well this game, abusing the Hex Stomp combo, and does get another hero kill. Oh, here we go. Sniq had an extra mine over here that's being disenchanted. That's what it was. So Duck has managed to get his mine back up here. So if he can mine at... well, I guess he's 56. But if he continue to mine that for a little while, then he'll have some gold at least. And maybe he can fly into the radar. I mean, if Sniq and Ebo keep fighting together, then that'll put him back in the game. Ebo is capped at 80 now. So that's something. And if the Inferno does enough damage to these peons, he may be able to... I don't know, do something. So Ebo has managed to rebuild himself up to 90 and continues to manage to kill off those pesky scouts and everything. And he's rebuilding his watchtowers as well. So Ebo is not making any bones of showing that he's got enough gold. He's mostly trying to make the other two believe that they each have a bunch of gold. Duck saying that he needs to go to the gym soon. Clever excuse, Duck. So at this point, I think it's pretty safe to rule that Duck is out of the game, and it'll come down to Ebo and Sniq. So Ebo has a very, very scary-looking base. He's got pretty much all the advantages going for him right now. Sniq does have a... Sniq is going to be able to team with Ebo, or with Duck to help take him down, and Duck doing some good damage to these random pointless towers that nobody ever needs to do anything with. But hey, he's killing stuff. It's going to help the score out later on, I suppose. Not that the score really matters, but... And here we go. This could be a big fight for Ebo if he can manage to hex down one of these heroes. Interesting, only one Bat Rider in the mix there. You'd think when you're playing Undead you'd want to keep more, but he does appear to be going mostly for a Fiend Army. Well, both of them appear to be going mostly Fiend Army, so understandable, I suppose. They are meeting up here. Let's see if they can take Ebo down 2v1. Ebo is going to TP out of here, does not want to take this fight. And Duck down to 51. Would not be surprised to see him kill off a Ghoul to mine better. Sniq is at 6,000 with 100 food army, but he has pretty much got all of his Gargs clustered up here, not showing much. Does have a couple of Frostworms to help attack the base. And they both have Death and Decay as well as the Pit Lord level 3 Rain of Fire, so that's something. Duck has managed to drop himself down, did kill off a Ghoul, I'm guessing. And Duck now has a TP. So Duck playing a dangerous game, making himself think that everybody is so low. And I mean, he is kind of. He is much lower than everybody else. However, if you can continue to mine that discreetly, then he really will be in good shape. Beautiful, beautiful job nuking all those. See if you can get the bats down. This could be very bad news for that Frostworm. Ooh, beautiful, beautiful death coil there. So none of the bats go to actual use, and Ebo is down to 73 food, capped at 90 right now. Duck at 50, Sniq at 93. He's got about a 50 food army there probably. Ebo's Frostworm is going to go down momentarily here, it looks like, and ooh, nice save there. Ebo doing a nice job of keeping these healing wards out there, and really that's a lot of what's managing to keep him live is all of the spirit linking and the wards. Sniq Destroyer looking pretty low there. Really need to keep those safe because they're going to be so important. And nice save on the Pit Lord. Can't afford to have the Pit Lord die again, but it is getting low. There's that stomp, and will he get a coil off on it? Ooh, nope. Tried to deny it. Didn't even get the deny off. Ebo manages to pull off yet another kill on it. And looking very low for this Shadow Hunter, though. We are going to get a TP out of the Dark Ranger. The invulnerability not going to... Oh, did just wear off, actually. So Duck looking pretty low on his Dreadlord there. Only... Nope, not even coil. Coil soon, but not going to have a whole lot more chance to heal for himself. He did produce... Not sure if he produced any units, but somehow he managed to... Oh, here we go. Sniq is killing off Duck's Expo. Interesting. Not entirely sure what the purpose of that is, but it does seem a little bit wasteful. And Sniq is just barely gonna... I like how Ebo is complaining about teaming. That actually really makes my day. Sniq did scout that, so that apparently is not going to pay off very well for Duck. Now they are not going to believe that Duck does not have any gold, despite the fact that he has 376. So unfortunately that's going to hurt him. Sniq's still in good shape with 6,000. He could pretty easily get there, and Ebo at 8,000. So if they continue to manage to team Ebo down a little bit, then Sniq may be able to take him in the 1v1. Still not looking great for Duck, and I suspect Sniq is actually going to hit Duck now, just because he figured that it would he was lying to him and he probably has a lot more gold than he thought, or Ebo may convince Sniq that they both need to hit Duck. And actually, Ebo going to finish off Duck, it looks like. Sniq unlikely to help him, and he is completely cross-map, so Ebo could gain some valuable experience here. He only has 1 TP on... No, he has no TPs right now, actually. So, he does have 1 TP on the Torn Chieftain, actually. I missed that. And this could be a very, very bad fight for Duck. He is not at all prepared to take this. He does not. He does have a TP. He needs to use that TP on his Death Knight. He is going to lose pretty much everything, I'm guessing, right now, unless he pulls off some miracle. And Duck is saying GG for him. I'll be interested to see if he alt QQs now and doesn't let Ebo get the experience if he tries to pull it off. It is going to TP, so maybe it was just a little bit of manip. But Duck is at least going to try and finish this off. He is not going to go ahead and just quit the game. So, interesting move. If Ebo pushes now, then Duck actually really is going to be in a lot of trouble. I don't know if Ebo believes that Duck has a lot of gold, or if he's just manipulating Sniq into thinking that. However, Duck is completely telling the truth, and is going to get himself killed off by Sniq and Ebo. Sniq, I think, believes that Duck actually does have that much gold, and it'll be a 1v1 versus Sniq and Ebo. And Ebo just going for some over-the-top manip and pause the game. Alright, that's kind of interesting. Alright, Duck, you can't do that. Duck, you cannot use outside things to go ahead and tell people you're telling the truth. Alright, so I'm not entirely sure what's going on there or what's going on with the channel.
A player's forces are under attack.
Sorry about the pause. Apparently our channel is being weird.
A player's forces are under attack.
And here we go, big fight between Ebo and Sniq and Duck, and this is a bunch of chaos. Duck gonna go ahead and back out here.
A player's forces are under attack.
Alright, so this has been a odd game to be sure.
Is under siege. A player's forces are under attack.
We do have, it looks like Duck and Sniq are going to go ahead and use a joint force against Ebo. Ebo is going up to his full 100 food army. Sniq at 72 with 4,800. Ebo enough to rebuild probably 2 more times. Strong Undead Nuke could be a problem for Ebo, but he's doing a nice job of staying within the Fountain of Mana area, and he should be able to get a bunch of healing wards up to prevent himself from getting crushed too. Ooh, rough usage of the bats there. Sniq managed to save almost all of his gargoyles, and as a result, the Wind Riders are going to go down momentarily. Ebo's own Frost Wormers can go down, and Duck does lose his Lich in the middle of that, though. So Ebo down to 72 food, but he is going to... Nope, he is not even rebuilding at the moment, so he has actually lost not nearly as much as I thought. Duck and Sniq are both doing a nice job of just spamming... whatchamacallit, Rain of Fire and Dreadlord and Lich, all of the nukes there. Sorry, I'm still kind of distracted.
A player's forces are under attack. A player's forces are under attack.
Well, all I can say is... this has certainly been a weird game so far. It started off pretty normally, action-packed at the start. It now appears that Duck is using Sniq as his protector, and as a result he is paying tribute by letting him have his gold mine. Sniq has been playing weak and broke all game, and apparently is not weak and broke. And Ebo, who usually can't micro, has actually been microing pretty well and has a good hero advantage here, but is the one getting teamed. So I've certainly seen some weird stuff before, and this is definitely at the top of it. Huh. Could see an interesting surround on the Dark Ranger here. This is actually a very, very poor move by Ebo. And, oh, they let him get away there. Interesting. So, nice job by Ebo getting himself out of that. I would have thought that would have been pretty much an instant surround and a certain death there. Does lose that Walker there momentarily, and Duck doing a nice job of leading with this Infernal. They have not used Death and Decay, which is kind of odd, and Ebo unfortunately loses most of its bats for about 2 of the gargoyles there due to the nice usage of Stone Form. However, he continues to push on here, and he's going to lose more bats here. So this is the problem you get when you have lots of bats and not enough attention to use them all. I know that I certainly run into that problem quite frequently, and Duck could manage to lose his Death Knight here if he is not careful. It does look like he has a TP on it though, so probably not going to happen, but he could get himself into some trouble if he keeps running it around in there. Ebo doing a nice job all game of managing to get his Shadow Hunter or whatever has been sleeped out of sleep the instant he's able to, so that's certainly something that's very important for the Orc player when you're playing Undead, and he has done a fantastic job of it so far. Checking back in on the expansion over here, it looks like Sniq has about 5,000 gold on it. I gotta believe Duck is going to take it back from him at some point, although I'm not sure how or when he plans to do that. And it looks like Ebo may go ahead and try to push and take out the rest of Sniq's army if possible. I think that Ebo's best bet here is probably to play as aggressively as possible. And as such, he is doing a nice job of chasing, although he can't really catch up to most of it. He needs to get that Shadow Hunter out there to get Hex onto the Lich if possible. And Duck saying that he's heading to Ebo's main with 100, trying to juke out both of the players probably. Sorry to be not too chatty right now. Unfortunately, I do not know exactly what to say. Looks like we're pretty much stuck in a 3-way. Ebo is down to 2,000 gold now. So he also is capped at 90. I'm not sure why he hasn't decided to build another burrow. I don't actually see any wood gathering peons anywhere. So this could actually be Ebo's major problem, is if he runs out of wood. Just looking around the map, he has 2 running gold back and forth. However, he is at 12 wood, and I don't think he realizes that he's going to be out of wood momentarily. So he could easily get himself trapped where he can't rebuild an army and can only revive heroes or buy items for them and stuff like that. Sniq has plenty of wood, not too much gold, but he continues to mine at 100 and probably in the driver's seat to win this at the moment. Sorry about that. While I know some people apparently think that my yawning makes them sleepy, I'll try and avoid coughing into the mic too. I think that probably would annoy them even more. Nice use of Death and Decay here finally. Let's see, where is that Shadowhunter? Okay, so Evo's staying back pretty significantly. Might lose a single worm there. Yep, so... Or, sorry, Fiend, not worm. And that Death and Decay has been pretty much unopposed the entire time and is going to finish off a significant portion of towers there. So that was a very nice usage of Death and Decay, and I suspect that Evo is going to be very unhappy that it worked out as well as it did. Pretty poor usage of the Infernal, actually. Ebo's still at 88 food. He has managed to start getting some wood, as he is no longer at 12, so that's probably a relief for him. And in come the bats. Not nearly enough to do a huge amount of damage, though. Sniq doesn't even lose that Frostworm. Gets it healed up very quickly by the scroll and combo. So Sniq now in the driver's seat. Ebo down to 73 food, I think. But being teamed still relentlessly, and the level 6 ultimate, whatchamacallit, Doom is now cast on one of those Tauren. That'll prevent it from being revived as well. Ebo being forced back into his base, and Duck going ahead and managing to inflict a bunch of damage on these towers while everybody else is distracted by fighting regularly. So only 6 or 7 towers left, and Ebo not in good shape anymore. He went from being very, very, I don't want to say aggressive and cocky or anything like that. He went from being in really good position early on to being brought down by this teaming. And unfortunately, these towers that helped him so much earlier on are now really disadvantaging him. Ebo saying that this is pre-teaming. I don't know. This is something that Ugri is going to have to look into. I don't think it's pre-teaming per se, but it does seem a little bit fishy. Duck letting the other person have that expansion is kind of iffy. Nice usage of Charm, though, so continuing to do a lot of damage with the fact that he can charm everything away there. Sniq down to 48, but he continues to mine. That's really going to be the main difference in the game, is that single mine over there. If Ebo can get off one good kill here somehow, some way, then he may be able to get himself back in the game. Nice play by Evo there. I don't know what's going to happen with this game. I don't think it's pre-team, but there's something certainly not right about it. Unfortunately, I'm not an admin in this. I have no jurisdiction or say or anything. So that's really going to be up to Ugri to watch and decide what to do about this, but... Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead and cut this cast off and put some music on. I will be back with PureB to cast the finals, actually.